Now, how do you differentiate yourself? I've been on an acronym tear these days. I came up with a stupid one last week, but I promise you this one is much better. The acronym I'm going to use this week is SPEED. Differentiate yourself with speed. And, S.P.E.E.D. So speed, S. Solve the problems. Whether if you're working with a salesperson, solve their problem. If you're working with other SEs, help them solve their problem. If you're working with an SE manager, help them solve their problem. My manager loved me mainly because I was able to deal with my account manager without getting him involved. I had an account manager who I didn't trust, threw me under the bus a few times, lied to customers. I've talked about him in the past, and I've had all the other account managers who were amazing. This one just left a bad taste in my mouth. I was able to deal with him and get him back on track. At least attempt to get him back on track. And my SE manager didn't have to worry about me with that specific account manager. He knew I was able to handle it, so he was okay to focus on other areas. I've also helped account managers solve problems where they're trying to figure out, we're working on a deal with a customer and the customer only had 50K or whatever the budget was. The product they wanted to buy was 100K, and I helped him come up with a proposal that, while preserving our margins, which keeps everybody happy, was able to get the customer what they need. And I know I'm being vague right now. I'm not sure I can get into details, but generally speaking, if you help people solve their problems, you're gonna differentiate yourself. If you are causing problems, on the other end of the spectrum, if you're causing problems, you will not differentiate yourself. Well, you will differentiate yourself negatively. And if you're just being there, like status quo, you're not going to be thought of in a positive or a negative way. I honestly, I'd rather be thought of in a negative way. That way, at least I can be fired and go to a job that I would enjoy than to not be thought of at all. And that's just me personally. You might be different. That's really your choice. P, so speed, SP. P is proactive. Proactively do things. Don't wait for the SE manager or the salesperson to tell you to do stuff. I talked about that in depth in the last show. So if you're interested in learning more about that, you might want to listen to the last show. But basically, be proactive in everything, whether it's for the customer or for the account managers or for other SEs. Be proactive. For product managers, actually, this has helped me quite a bit with product managers in the sense that they want to meet with customers about certain topics to make sure that they're on the right track, they're building the right product, whatever it is. If I'm proactive and actually set them up with those customers so they can have these conversations, they like me a lot more than having to bug a person like 7,000 times to set up a call. So that's P. Then we have E, educate. That we do that all the time. We educate our account managers, and I don't say that condescendingly. We are more technical than our account managers. We know a little bit more in depth what our solutions solve, so we can educate the account manager. Whenever we're going to meet a customer, we can give them a crash course or her a crash course about the product that we're trying to sell or the customer's potential problems so that they know what questions to ask. And also, I've realized that SEs have a better relationship with the users of the product a lot more than account managers. And they know who the influencers are and who's going to like try to trip up the system. So it's not just from a technical perspective. We can educate from like a personnel perspective. That we can educate the account manager like, hey, we really need to build a better relationship with that specific person. Let's ask him out to lunch. Let's do this. Let's whatever it is, let's just help him a little bit more. So there are two E's in speed, in case you're wondering. The second one is elevate. Now, you need to elevate people around you, not bring them down. If someone asks you for help, you would assist them and elevate them to a higher level. Elevate the account manager, elevate the company, elevate the team. You just basically, instead of you going down, like if you have a standard that's a 10, but everybody else's standard is a 5, if you go down and your standard becomes a 5, you basically kind of wasted your career. But if you can bring everybody up, maybe not to become a 10, maybe a 6 initially or a 7, you're helping the company as a whole. That's how you differentiate yourself. And then D, deliver. If you promise something, deliver on it. I'm not sure I need to talk about that a lot more.